became clear that we were in real trouble.
When was that? When was that?
Well, that was probably towards the middle to end of January.
Okay. And what did you begin advising the administration and those authorities that we were, in fact, seeing something different here and this could be a major problem at that time?
You bet. And then that's when it became clear that there are a couple of ways of addressing that. You could either prevent or try and block the influx of new cases from out of the country, and already cases that come in from China, to try and say, that's it, we got to stop that, because now we already have cases here. And then it switched to Europe. And when Italy had their outbreak, it became clear that that became a danger. So that's when cases were cut off from coming in from Europe and then ultimately the UK. But by that time, we had enough cases in our own country that the ability to do the containment slipped then into the need for mitigation. And we saw what happened in New York.
Yeah, we were behind the ball. You mentioned New York. Let me ask you this before I let you go. Some people are talking, particularly the mayor of New York and others, about closing the schools down until the end of the term. Not getting into the politics of that, from your professional vantage point as an expert that many in this country kind of look to you to give straight medical data and information, when do you suggest schools not open this semester around the country? What do you need to see in order for you to be comfortable to advise the reopening of schools and the reopening of businesses?
That's a very good question, Reverend Sharpton, and it's going to be different from different parts of the country. Right now in New York, you specifically mentioned New York. New York has had the worst week with deaths than they've had. At the same time, we're starting to see some glimmers that things are stabilizing because the number of new cases, needs for hospitalizations, needs for intubations has flattened and gone down. So we're hoping we're going to see a decrease, a rather sharp decrease and decline in the cases in New York. But New York is still having a lot of problems. So under those circumstances, I think one would be careful before you reopen the schools. And perhaps, and again, this is going to be the ultimate decision of the authorities, it might be better to let things just stop for this season and think in terms of going back in the fall.
All right, and we're going to continue talking with you as we deal with flattening the curve as well as the race curve.